I am looking for a motion to do something.
Well, here's my perspective. I think that our role as the committee, and our job as a committee is to really think through and take the time it takes to think through all the options and hear all the information. So this is the first step, and this is an important first step. So I would just say that to the folks that are here. Whatever we do here, we're listening to you, and we're going to take, I want to take a next step, but I also want it to be a next step that doesn't move it too fast, because that wouldn't be appropriate. I think that we have to get all the information as a committee. We have to take the time. I would like to read all this. I think it's very important information. So I would suggest that, I would support either way. I would suggest that we take it up in August and think through a resolution along the lines of what you're suggesting, Councilmember Troxler, that we could bring back in written form, perhaps, if you all are up for that.
Well, I think the point here is if you want to hear more about the scientific data and the arguments for either side, but I think the issue is either the community expects us either to fluoridate the water or to not fluoridate the water. Talking about additional, because there's already some background, fluoride in it. So I think that's a decision we need to make. So what I'm hearing from my other colleagues here is you probably want to bring this back for another hearing.
Well,
and have a chance to review the information we've already received, and then maybe have one more hearing on the matter before we make a decision.
Well, I'd also like to bring back some options for language. You know, I mean, because what you have is one option, one way that we might proceed, but there's some other ways that we might proceed too.
Okay.
You know.
So is there a motion here that we reconsider this item in the August
Sure, I'll make
August
that.
agenda? Okay. Is that a motion? Will you second that?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm in favor too. So I guess what we'll do then is we'll ask for this agenda item to come back, and I guess I want to ask if the city staff has has some experts that can testify as to why we should do this. I heard quite a bit of, I think, what's pretty good evidence testimony that we should not be doing it at all, that we should not be adding fluoride. But I'd like to hear the other side and have another session similar to what we had today.
I would like to say, given the appropriate amount of time and being able to gather those advocates for fluoridation to be present.
Would August be enough time?
I think it would be plenty of time.
All right, terrific. Thank you.
The other thing that's of interest to me is that, this is a public health issue, and so what are other communities? It's a public health issue that data is what we're looking for. I mean, and what we're looking for is the results, and we're doing it. We started fluoridation for a specific reason, and that was to help kids with, dental decay. So if it's not getting us there, and if there are the kinds of concerns that people are raising, then we need to rethink it. And so part of the information I'd like to know is, what is the state of the art, so to speak, from a public health perspective on the thinking about how to prevent dental decay in children. So that kind of information.
We can look into that for you as well. Okay,
because fluoridation is a pretty blunt instrument, in terms of public health, and a lot of that we do. Obviously we do that because public health is a community-wide kind of approach rather than an individual specific approach to health. So I'm not saying that you would never want to do that. It's just that, everybody's drinking the water, not just the kids, and there are other ways that kids, as some people have testified, there are other ways that, that we work on kids preventing tooth decay. So anyway.
And I appreciate your understanding the difference between public health and primary care.
Yeah, I do. I understand
the importance of that as well.
Yeah, I understand. And it's important. I just think that we should, I think it's appropriate for us to have this discussion. As you mentioned before, we had this discussion. Previous years, people had this discussion about lead and other things. So anyway.
Okay.
I will just explain my approach, and thank you, Councilmember Zimmerman, for bringing this forward, and I appreciate everyone coming to speak. I have to say that I trust our public health officials. They have dug into this. The great weight of the evidence supports community water fluoridation. I think it's critical for our kids. I want to thank Councilmember Houston for her. I want to thank Councilmember Houston for her statement, and I have to tell you that I support the continued community water fluoridation, because as far as I'm concerned, the risk to our children is much, much greater without having community water fluoridation.